where the government admits stringent measures have to be in place. Maricel Halili joins us live from Mandaluyong to give us the details. Maricel, what did the president say exactly?
Sean, President Rodrigo Duterte has approved the limited face-to-face classes in low-risk areas. This after the Department of Education presented its proposal before the president during his meeting with the members of the Interagency Task Force last night. Face classes might see the light of day come January next year or the third quarter of the academic year. But the Education Department's proposal comes with conditions. The school has to be in an area under modified general community quarantine, follows stringent health standards, and has conducted pilot testing and inspection. DepEd Secretary Leonor Briones, in her proposal to the president, said that there must be a coordination between the DepEd, the local government, and local health authorities.
Kung we rely, for example, heavily on online learning, then you will have equity problems for those who may not have access to digital equipment.
The setup imposes stringent health standards like no face mask, no entry, regular hand washing, regular disinfection in school premises, and checking of temperature and respiratory symptoms. Classroom size will also be factored in to ensure physical distancing. A small room might be limited to 15 to 20 students per class.
And then they have to be in good state of repair. They are safe kasi dumaanan ng mga bagyo, may lindol, may putok ng bulkan.
The president okayed the proposal, saying he is with Secretary Briones on this. But with cases still increasing and with no vaccine still in sight, he said social distancing should be strictly imposed and wearing of masks implemented.
A little shame would put them on notice forever. At sino ba naman gusto mo mahuli ka? But if you are brought to the police station and detained there, that would give you a lesson for all time.
Given these new policies and proposals, the chief executive once again asked the public for patience.
Marunong ang Diyos. Alam niya hindi tayo niya pababayaan. Especially Pilipinas kasi Kristiyanos tayo.
The president also asked Health Secretary Francisco Duque if every Filipino can be tested for COVID-19. Duque said it's highly improbable, but that over a million have already been tested. He said that the target is to attain 10 million by 2021. Sean, President Duterte reiterated that he is willing to sell some of the country's properties to make sure that the government has enough funds to buy vaccine against COVID once it's available and face masks for the public. Sean?
All right, thank you for that update on the school schedules. Maricel Halili joining us live from Mandaluyong. Malacanang is easing fears of COVID-19 infections once classes start and a limited face-to-face school setup has begun. Palace spokesperson Harry Roque said government support via PhilHealth is available for those who will be infected. The Education Department also pointed out that COVID-19 cases among children are rare compared to that of the elderly.
Third quarter pa po ipapatupad ang face-to-face classes at sagot naman po ng PhilHealth ang mga pagpapagamot ng nagkakasakit ng COVID-19.
And the DepEd has likewise noted a migration of students from private schools to public schools. Secretary Briones said enrollment turnout in public schools is at 90% and only less than a third have registered in private schools. Briones attributes this to the economic downturn due to the pandemic. She says public schools can absorb the transferees.
There are other schools also in the surrounding cities na pwede nilang mapuntahan. So, basta hindi lang sila mamimili kung saan sila pupunta, kung alin ang mga schools na available, pwede nilang mapuntahan. First come, first serve.
And going back to face masks for every Filipino, well, that's the president's new promise as he wants the wearing of face masks to be strictly enforced. To tell us more about this, we have Camille Samonte joining us live from Manila. Camille, the president talked about punishment for violators of not face mask wearing. What awaits them and what did he say exactly?
Sean, in the Interagency Task Force meeting Monday night, President Duterte vowed to distribute free masks, especially for those who can't afford them. He also warned the public to not trivialize wearing masks or else face punishment. Time and again, government officials have put the blame on the public for the country's continuous spike in COVID-19 cases, attributing it to the inobservance of social distancing and the failure to wear face masks. But this time around, President Rodrigo Duterte wants the police to strictly enforce the wearing of face masks. Arrest and jail time, he said, will await violators.
The theory is that you are the carrier. That is why you should wear a mask so as not to pass on the infection to the other guy.
Duterte said he will try his best to provide face masks for those who cannot afford it.
I will try to buy as many as I can afford. Kung kaya ko, bigay namin yan sa inyo libre. But wear it.
The Interior Department is now working on a uniform policy on the wearing of face masks.
Gusto namin magkaroon po ng isang implementation lang po ng pare-pare sa bawat LGU kung ilang araw po dapat ikukulong yung mga nagbabiolate sa pagsusuot ng mask, face mask, at hindi nagpi-physical distancing.
The palace said that they are still waiting for the formal ordinance before police authorities can enforce and arrest violators. The president, who has no medical background, has one more advice: reuse masks by soaking it in gasoline or diesel.
Gamitin mo siguro yan 2 beses, okay mo lang. O sprayhan mo lang ng alcohol pagkatapos. Huwag yung in-spray mo, isuot mo kaagad. Yung pagkatapos ng araw, hang it somewhere, sprayhan mo lang ng Lysol if you can afford it. Yung wala, ibabad mo ng gasolina o diesel.
The World Health Organization discourages people from disinfecting and reusing surgical masks. Medical experts also advise against the use of face masks with valves, as these do not block the transmission of the virus. The Medical City, for one, has prohibited its use in its premises. But if it's any consolation, a London study showed that 91% of Filipinos always wear masks when leaving their homes, ranking second in the world. Sean, the UP Octa research warned that the number of COVID-19 cases could surge up to 85,000 by the end of July as the public becomes more mobile due to its restrictions. Sean?
Right, thank you, Camille Samonte. That was Camille reporting to us live from Manila today. And after allowing spouses and partners, family members might soon get a motorcycle back ride. The Joint Task Force COVID Shield says they are likely to soon allow pillion riding for family members as soon as community quarantine is lifted. Currently, only spouses or couples living together are allowed to back ride so long as a protective barrier has been set up. Many netizens have been blaming the said shield for motorcycle accidents, with groups already contesting its usage due to safety issues. Meanwhile, motorcycle ride-hailing firm Angkas has tapped the UP College of Public Health to study the viability of the resumption of motorcycle taxis under the new normal. The study aims to explore potential layers of protection to reduce the chance of COVID-19 infections among drivers and passengers. Government has recently said that Angkas no longer has a franchise to operate.
Given the necessary or the proper research and study, and then implementing and strictly enforcing the health measures based on that research, I think there's a possibility that we can make it viable as a form of public transportation during COVID-19.
And the UP experts recommend the use of shields to offer additional protection. They also said that there is minimized transmission in motorcycles due to ventilation.
It will always be better to have different layers of protection, different layers of control, so that we can definitely reduce the risk of transmission of the virus.
We're going to pause for a quick break, but One News Now will be right back. Sean Yao, and you're still watching One News Now. Another troubling milestone, COVID cases in the country have breached 70,000. That's as the health department logged close to 2,000 cases today. And so far, active cases in the country stand at 45,000. And with 2 new deaths recorded, the death toll from the SARS-like disease is now at 1,800. 209 new recoveries were also reported, bringing the total number of COVID-19 survivors so far to more than 23,000. And former health secretaries are urging the government to better implement the universal healthcare law now that the country is battling COVID-19. In a virtual forum, former Health Chief Pauline Ubial said the law will improve the country's health system and would better integrate health units, both private and public.
In order to attain our goals specified in that law, we have to start. And what better time to start but start right now when we are facing a pandemic. And ang gusto ko lang pong sabihin ay kailangan po tingnan natin yung spectrum of diseases, hindi lang yung isang particular disease. And we have to also look at the triple burden.
Former Health Secretary Enrique Ona also highlighted the need for improved contact tracing and testing in the country. And a last-minute cancellation of trips have left passengers stranded at the Manila North Port. This as the government tries to control the influx of passengers going back to their provinces. Justine Punsalang with the full story.
Around 70 stranded individuals had no choice but to stay outside the Manila North Harbor to wait for their ride back to their provinces. On Tuesday noon, the Manila North Port announced that the stranded passengers' trip to Bacolod and Iloilo is cancelled indefinitely. They were advised to go back to their residences in the metro until further notice. Many of them had scheduled trips going to Bacolod and Iloilo on Monday night and Tuesday noon respectively. But come Tuesday, the stranded individuals received a text message from the shipping company. They have been temporarily barred to return to their provinces due to a government directive. Only returning overseas Filipinos and authorized persons outside residences will be allowed to be ferried to Bacolod and Iloilo. But the company's social media account states otherwise, with trips going to Bacolod, Iloilo, and Cagayan scheduled at 11 a.m. on Tuesday. Stranded passengers were left confused and frustrated.
In one click, bababa bigla yung mga memo from different provinces without prior notice to the public. He is not fair.
Apart from trips being cancelled several times, the stranded individuals complain of the amount of money it would take to rent a decent place while waiting for their trip. One passenger from Rizal said that the abrupt cancellation was unfair.
Dapat maaga pa lang, mag-update sila sa tao. Wala na, end na kami dun, ma'am. Wala na kami pambayad dun. Alam, babalik pa kami dun.
Meanwhile, during a meeting with President Rodrigo Duterte, Interior Secretary Eduardo Año assured that they are coordinating with the local government units to ferry stranded individuals. Año added that they are discussing measures to control the influx of persons arriving in provinces, including a uniform implementation of quarantine protocols. For News 5, Justine Punsalang. We are One News.
For more updates, follow News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You may also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.